Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor and pleasure for me to address this Tbilisi Women's International Conference devoted to women's role in peace and security. I'm very proud to join the distinguished group of women leaders in discussing how we can collectively contribute and drive action to tackle the multifaceted challenges we all face today of establishing and sustaining peace in our region and beyond. Let me start by recognizing the critical role of women leaders in achieving gender equality and the empowerment of women as a driver for establishing and sustaining life in all domains. Gender equality is an influential factor for peace and stability, social cohesion, and sustainable economic development. Establishing equal participation of women in all stages of these processes requires that women's needs, priorities, and concerns are identified and addressed through relevant policies and secured with resources that are allocated to where they are needed in a timely manner. Without incorporating gender dimensions in policies and monitoring, the implementation therefore reaching and sustaining peace is not possible. The UN Security Council Resolution 1325 brought in a new approach to conflict prevention and peace building through setting up an important framework for policies and measures to promote gender inclusive and sustainable processes at national, regional, and global levels. Its adoption was a major achievement and a result of the unyielding work of women peace builders around the world. It established a normative framework for women's meaningful participation in decision-making, conflict resolution, conflict prevention and peace building, as well as protection of women and girls' rights and prevention of sexual and gender-based violence in conflict-affected situations. UN member states have committed to the implementation of the Beijing Platform for Action, by far the most comprehensive global agenda for achieving gender equality and women's empowerment, which includes the theme of women in conflict as one of the 12 areas of concern. We face myriad threats to the Beijing commitments nowadays. Women experience the devastating impacts of wars and conflicts, increased uncertainty and time poverty, overburdened by unrecognized unpaid work. And in all of these areas, gender inequalities have been exacerbated by the continuing COVID-19 pandemic. Violations of and threats to girls' and women's rights call for protection and advancement of the Beijing Platform for Action and prior commitments, the International Conference on Population and Development and the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, to name some key frameworks. Transformation requires addressing the structural and macro issues that perpetuate inequalities, discrimination, and exclusion. In the regional review meetings of the Beijing Platform for Action, which are hosted by UNECE every 5 years, our member states report on progress and challenges in achieving gender equality and the empowerment of women, including in the domain of women in conflict. In the most recent meeting in 2019, we concluded that despite progress in achieving gender equality in all areas, the current pace of change is too slow. Along efforts to increase women's participation in the economy, the meeting emphasized the implementation of Security Council Resolution 1325 as crucial to address gender-based violence in conflict situations and to involve women actively in peace processes. There is a need to develop and implement comprehensive well-funded strategies to accelerate change. We call for actions by all stakeholders to redouble their efforts at the national, regional, as well as the international level. I also take this opportunity to applaud the progress made by Georgia in this context, who reported to the last Beijing review meeting that national action plans for the period from 2012 to 2015, then 2016 and 17, and 2018 to 2020 were adopted in accordance with the statute of the Parliament of Georgia on Women, Peace and Security, issued on 5th May 2011, in order to achieve implementation of the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. At the 2022 Regional Forum for Sustainable Development for the UNECE region, a key platform for policy debate, exchange of good practices, and peer learning on the implementation of the SDGs, in a series of discussions at events and at the SDG 5 roundtable, address the critical role of women leaders in peace and development. In the UNECE region, the social and economic situation is very diverse. It includes countries with conflicts and post-conflict situation, as well as countries with increased uncertainties and turmoil due to political crisis. In this process, sharing lessons learned and searching for approach to sustain peace through the participation of the whole society, women and men, is much needed. UNECE has been working closely with partners such as Women, UNDP, OECD, OSCE, and other international organizations, along with civil society and academia, in order to ensure that women's needs, interests, voices, and leadership are fully built into the international response through decisive actions with women as well as men, both within and beyond our region. I would like to ensure that UNECE will continue to strengthen our partnership to achieve gender equality and empower women in all areas of our work, thus contributing to peace and security in the region.